What I'm doing now is I'm preparing the street lighting for the caravan park, and what I've used for this is the Kites Lights street lights, and these come with adjustable heights. The base has to be glued in position, and all I've done with the ones I'm using on the caravan park is I've chopped that little kind of ball, plastic ball off the top, and I've smoothed it down. These are the same ones I used at the level crossing and the ramp up from the station. All I did was I set the height that I wanted, which is 80mm. They're slightly shorter than the street lights because this is obviously a more residential, if you like, area, so the street lights tend to be a bit smaller in height. Glued them in place, primed them, and then gave it a spray of Humbrol Light Grey 64. Okay, and after that what you do is, obviously the resistors are supplied, you put the resistor in line with the negative cable, and that's just black heat shrink there to stop any of the solder contacts touching and shorting out the positive voltage wire, which is this one. Again, where the join is, I've put some heat shrink on there. These have been done on both of my lights, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to situate them on the caravan park site and feed them through the back or down below the baseboard, and to connect them up to this screw connector or chock block. I'll go and do that now. Okay, I'm just drilling a hole there, and I'm going to feed the wires one at a time through this hole. Because this is a raised section, I've got plenty of room underneath to get my hand in and pull the wire through. Very careful, these wires are very fragile. There we go. Now obviously they're going to be glued in place finally because they're wobbling about like nobody's business there. Had to get obviously the hole big enough to get the resistor through, but don't panic about that just now. They'll be glued in place so that they're standing correctly. So that's the two lights in place now. I've tried to space them out realistically. Obviously for security reasons the road's got to be lit to keep it from being pitch black at night. Hopefully you can see the two red and the two black wires coming from underneath the baseboard, and I've just put them straight into this screw block connector, and from there a positive and negative line will be taken round to the bus wire for the street lighting at the station, and obviously when I switch that on, the caravan park lighting should come on as well. Okay, what I've done is I've braided a length of wire that will take it from the bus wire, which is round about where the station is right to the connector blocks that I've just fitted. And I've just stripped the end of the wire there, black as well. Now this wire I'm using is 16.2 core, which is a multi-core wire, and there's 16.2mm wires inside, and that's good for most things on the layout. Okay, what I do now is I use one of these kind of like spade connectors, pop that in there, and I've got my wire cutters etc, and I'll line it up with the red one there, pop it in there with the wire in, and then just squeeze, and what you'll end up with is that spade connector attached to the wire. And then what happens with that is that these go into these crimps. That crimps around the bus wire, this spade goes in there, and you've got a connection. No soldering under the layout, get into difficult places with a hot soldering iron. I use these for all my connections, from the feeder wires, so the dropper wires, to all the lighting connections into the bus wires. Okay, that's me now got the red and black twisted wires from the bus wire that controls the street lights into the connector block, and from the connector block up to the lights at the caravan park. And if we take the camera up, you'll see that we have success. We've got 2 illuminated street lights which can be controlled by an on-off switch round at the main control panel. In order to light the inside of the caravans, I needed a very small LED, a micro LED. Using a standard LED would be fine if you wanted the entire wall to be illuminated as well as the roof, because these resin scenecraft items are actually, semi-transparent when you put a light inside them. You can't get into the caravan to paint the interior black, which would obviously stop the light bleeding out. So you've got to go for a very small LED with quite a large resistor. So what I did for this was I tracked down some mini LEDs, or micro LEDs, and they're tiny and they're warm white in colour. You can always see the yellow square there against the dark roof. And I've put a 50k resistor into that, and then what I did was I drilled a very small hole, a 1.5mm hole. You probably see it there just between the wheel sets, and I'm going to put that inside, and then that'll allow it to be illuminated realistically and subtly enough so it doesn't light up the entire area around about it, i.e. it looks like you've got a nuclear fusion going on inside. It's just a very slight light like you would find on table lamps and ceiling lights. So I'm going to wire all those 3 up to the same kind of technique, and I'll show you on the layout. You've got to position the hole in the gravel so that it lines up with the hole in the bottom of the caravan. So just roughly put it in position, and I'm going to lay around a bit there. Take the caravan away, like that. 2mm drill. Right, now what I do now is get my small hoover. Don't blow this away, it'll go all over your static grass, so I just put it up like that. Now feed the wire through. Start with the positive because that's got the resistor on it and that needs a wee bit more delicate feeding. Put your hand under the baseboard, pull it through. Careful not to damage the resistor because these things, the micro LEDs are really delicate looking. The resistor goes through there. As you can see, there's the LED there on my finger, so small. And the black, put that through. Again, carefully feed it through, keeping the LED in a position that you want it. Now you'll notice I've got quite a bit of black cable here. I'm wanting quite a lot of slack. It allows me to cut it shorter. If I cut it too short to start with, then I've got a problem. So there we go, black going through. Pull a bit of the wire through as well. This thin wire is enamelled, so it's not going to cause any shorts if it touches each other. I'll bring the cables out the side from the baseboard just now, sort them out later. As you can see there now I've got my LED poking up. And then the next trick is to align it with the hole. This caravan's got more than one hole in it because I was experimenting with different light units, so get in the smallest hole. You want it to be quite a neat fit so it doesn't fall out. And then just pop it on. You can hold the LED underneath with a bit of tape, like I've done that with that one, which I'll go back and do that later with this one. And then it's a case of feeding that through the main baseboard and connecting it up to the lighting wire for that, so when the street lights go on, so do the caravan lights. So I'll go and do the third one just now and wire it up. That's me now got each of the caravans wired up with the LED, obviously one in each caravan, and the two street lights, as you can see, are illuminated. I'll switch the lights off just now and show you the effect of the interior lighting. Okay, as you can see here, I've now got a subtle glow coming from inside the caravans, which could, you know, give the impression of a table lamp or a ceiling light. I've got the right balance between realistic and practical, in the sense that I've not got the white glow shining through the side of the resin caravan itself. And I think it gives just the right mix of, you know, warm white, yellow light that you would find of an interior. And then obviously the two street lights doing their job at the background as well. That's it for the lighting for the caravan park. The next phase is to add any fencing, campsite furniture, signage, and obviously to put the trees into position. Hope you found this useful. Any comments, please get in touch, and I'll get the next part of the Caravan Park Diorama series uploaded as soon as I can. Cheers just now.